Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast.
This is a show dedicated to helping you become a better organist.
We're your hosts, Vidas
And Aušra Motuzaitė Pinkevičienė.
We have over 25 years of experience of playing the organ.
And we've been teaching thousands of organists online from 89 countries since 2011.
So now let's jump in and get started with the podcast for today.
We hope you'll enjoy it.
Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 636 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Steven, and he writes, Hi Vidas, organ playing is going okay, thank you for asking. These days I am making more time for practice, which is key. I still feel like I am a slow learner, but I know how to pull apart a new piece and start making it work. Pedal work continues to improve, with the biggest aspect I'm noticing is my accuracy. The right foot position, like keeping toes touching the black pedals, seems to be super helpful. I have a teacher and we have lessons every other week for 1 hour. I typically work up a couple hymns out of the ELW, sometimes an introduction or related piece with those hymns. Then I have several other pieces in various states of progress. So Stephen is talking about his practice during the pandemic, and I'm very glad that it's improving.
Yes, and in general I thought one day that many musicians will become really virtuoso during this time.
Why is that?
Because we stay home and we practice all day long.
Like we do.
Yes, but of course I don't practice every day and all day long.
Well, right.
Because I have to teach online.
When pandemic hit, obviously a lot of people stayed at home. It doesn't mean they have more time to practice, right, Aušra? It doesn't necessarily mean.
And it does not necessarily mean that we have access to an instrument at home.
Right. People who relied on church organs now have to figure out a way to play at home. Or people who worked in a physical location before and now have to work online during that time. Usually that online work takes at least twice as much of time than if you compare it to the physical work, physical location work. Is this the case with you, Aušra?
Well, I save time for the trip to my school and back. And this time I can practice actually at home.
Oh yeah, depending on where you live from your work, commuting could be very time consuming, up to several hours per day. So during that time, if you stay at home and could squeeze in some practice time, that's even better.
Yes, and for me, for example, it takes about hour and a half to go both ways, back and forth to school. So I think it's a nice practice session.
But even now, even though you have to work more at school, you kind of are practicing more than before at home, don't you think?
Yes, true.
How can you manage that when you have so much work to do for online teaching?
Well, because I have 2 instruments at home, actually 3 instruments at home. And I don't have to go anywhere. I still can find much more time.
Except, of course, looking at the screen is very exhausting, right? When you have to work online.
Yes, and the worst thing about this pandemic, that actually when it started, I stopped reading books. I just simply gave up because looking at the screens takes too much time and too much energy from my eyes. So I stopped reading other books, not related to my work.
Me too. But we watch Netflix instead.
Well, yes, that's not a very good habit, perhaps, but you have to do something, just not go crazy.
Right. So Stephen is practicing from evangelical Lutheran worship hymnals, and we used to have those in America, right? The green ones, ELW. Remember those? We have one at home.
Yes, we have one at home, yes, the old one.
They have, I think, updated since we left the States. Remember, we were going back to Lithuania and they were getting new hymnals.
Yes, I remember that. That's why we could, bring the old one with us.
Right. But I guess the core anthems and chorals and hymns are still the same, the core.
At least, the most of them, I guess.
Right. So what I would suggest to Stephen, besides working on hymns, is probably focus more on hymns, on pieces also. He spent a lot of time practicing on hymns, but only the last sentence in his answer is about pieces, and we don't even know what kind of music does he play besides hymns. So basically, it's probably not a big focus for him.
Well, if he is church musician, that's natural that you focus more on the hymn playing. Although, being an active organist in the Lutheran church, you surely have to play some solo music as well for each service.
At least 2 pieces per Sunday, prelude and postlude.
Yes, and probably maybe even more, especially if you don't have a choir.
Right. Now during the quarantine could be even more because organist has to fill in a lot of music himself.
True.
So yeah, that's a good way of looking at things through organ repertoire. Choose something doable, not necessarily toccatas and fugues and standard organ concert repertoire, but maybe shorter pieces, 2-3 pages.
Yes, that's, I think, a good suggestion.
All right, so hopefully this will help Stephen. Please send us more of our questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.
This podcast is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online.
It has hundreds of courses, coaching, and practice materials for every area of organ playing. Thousands of instructional videos and PDFs. You will not find more value anywhere else online.
Total Organist helps you to master any piece, perfect your technique, develop your sight reading skills, and improvise or compose your own music and much, much more.
Sign up and begin your training today at organduo.lt and click on Total Organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
If you like our organ music, you can also support us on Patreon and get free CDs.
Find out more at patreon.com/secrets of organ playing.